What's going on, guys? Skyler from techlifetoday back with another video. In today's video, I have a review for you guys of the Phixnozar keyboard case for the iPad Pro 12.9 inch. Now this works for the 2018 model, so just be very clear, this is not for the new one that just came out a few days ago. So I've had the pleasure of trying out the Phixnozar case for about 2 months now, and I have to admit, it's pretty incredible. For a keyboard case, it really does turn the iPad Pro into a laptop. What's really neat about this in particular, and you can see this throughout the video, is that this has a trackpad, which is something that Apple actually focused on a lot with iOS 13.4. So with their new iPad Pro, along with their Magic Keyboard case, which I'll add is $350, you are able to essentially get keyboard and trackpad experience on the iPad, much like with the MacBook Pro line or MacBook Air line, or really any traditional laptop. So I've actually been testing this out, as I said earlier, for a couple months now. So this is before Apple released iOS 13.4. Now, for the longest time, people were relying on the accessibility feature. That way you could technically get a cursor to use for the iPad, and it worked okay. But with iOS 13.4, this changes everything for the trackpad or mouse support for the iPad. With Phixnozar's iPad Pro keyboard case, you're able to use the trackpad with gestures, which I think is pretty neat. So much like the Magic Keyboard that Apple released, it has backlit keys, and there's a variety of different colors. So there's like the RGB type of color, and there's a pure white, and there's different levels of brightness that you can choose from. Another thing I like about the iPad Pro keyboard case from Phixnozar is the amount of protection it offers. So what's nice about it is it's a hard case. So if you like it, it's a hard shell plastic case, but it's a decent quality. So it's not only going to protect the iPad from scratches, but it's also going to protect it from bending, which is a major issue with the iPad. And the other thing is that it has a nice hinge. So I've had a few keyboard cases for the iPad Pro that have had very loose hinges after a little bit of time. This is not something I've experienced with the iPad Pro case from Phixnozar, so it's pretty exceptional. Hinge works very well. The trackpad works great. The keys have a nice amount of travel to it. So if you like your laptop keyboard, you're going to like this a lot. So just to talk about some key points that Phixnozar advertises on their website. It's easy to use and practical. I would agree with that. Has two backlit rainbow modes. This is essentially the RGB mode.
So just to talk about some of the key points from the Phixnozar Apple keyboard case. They talk about how you can transition from the tablet to a laptop easily. With our keyboard case, the iPad Pro 12.9 inch, you can turn your tablet into a highly performance and easy to use laptop. The backlit tablet keyboard case has a laptop-like design, and I will admit, overall, I agree with that. I will say, when you put the iPad in the keyboard case, it does feel a lot more like a laptop than a tablet, mainly because you're using your trackpad for a lot of it. You don't really have to use the touch input a lot. So, I mean, this really depends on who the audience is. So if you're someone that wants to use the iPad like a laptop, I think this is a perfect case for you. So if you're working at the office all day, or you're just at a desk all the time, this could be a good alternative for you. If you're not looking for a laptop, you want an iPad, this is a good option. I will say it is fairly simple to take the iPad out of the keyboard case, so don't worry about that. It's pretty easy to take it out and start using it like an iPad again. So again, if you're looking for a laptop experience for the iPad, this is by far the best option you're going to have. So it's around $80, and I would say it's actually worth that. For what you're getting, the backlit keyboard, the touchpad, the incredible keyboard, the nice design, I would say this is an overall good package for what you're getting. I would say this is better than the Smart Keyboard. I have a Smart Folio case, I have both. I actually tend to use the Phixnozar case a lot more, primarily because I am always at the office, or I'm always at my desk. So overall, I couldn't recommend it more. I think this is a perfect option for a lot of people. Please be sure to let me know if you have any questions in the comment section down below. I'll be happy to answer anything you have about this. The battery life on it is also very good. I've actually charged it once in my 2 months of using it. I know that they say it advertised to last for a few months. I have not had any issues with it, so that's of course a pretty good thing, and I use it pretty heavily on a daily basis.
And I'll add, when it comes to the actual travel for the keyboard or for the keys, it's actually really good. I believe it's around 1 millimeter of travel, and that is pretty decent. I've had no problems with it. It's a pretty enjoyable experience. I will say, when you want to compare it, it's actually very similar to the Magic Keyboard, the original Magic Keyboard that's used for the iMac. It's actually pretty similar to that. Decent amount of travel. I'm very satisfied with it. It feels like it's pretty decent quality. It doesn't feel like something that's going to creak or break anytime soon. So I have to admit, overall, I'm very impressed in the product. I mean, especially for the price, I don't think you could beat it, especially when there's alternatives like the Magic Keyboard, which are upwards of $350, and you're not really getting anything different. So I have to admit, I'm very impressed with this keyboard. I would highly recommend checking it out. Again, links will be in the description below for this and their other products. They also have options for other iPads, very similar experience. So if you have an older iPad, you're able to try this out as well.
But overall, it's a great keyboard case. I like it a lot. Please be sure to let me know if you have any questions in the comment section down below. I'll be happy to answer it. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this, be sure to smash that like button because it helps out a ton. And also be sure to subscribe because, again, the more subscribers, the more it helps out. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.